enlarge it. Okay, today's story is number 55. The path once hated becomes a delight. How is it possible to enjoy perfect freedom in a world filled with constraints? It is difficult to explain in terms that everyone can understand, but perhaps the following story will give some idea. A young boy took a path over a mountain every day on his way to and from school. On days when he stayed late for some after school activity, the mountain would be scarily dark on his way home. In summer, the sun burned fiercely hot, and in winter, he was often forced to crouch down amid the howling winds of a blizzard. Rain turned the hilly path to a cataract. Filled with resentment, the boy would frequently mutter to himself, "If only the school were closer. If only this mountain weren't here." Then one day a pretty little girl transferred to his school. As it turned out, she was from his same village. The two of them began walking to and from school together, chatting about how far the way was and how deserted the mountain. In no time, they were fast friends. On their way home one afternoon, a sudden cloudburst hit them. The rain showed no sign of letting up. Between them, they had only one umbrella, the little girl's. Finding himself cozily sharing an umbrella with her, the boy prayed silently all the way home. "Don't let the rain stop. Let the mountain be more deserted. Let the village be farther away." The things that had previously tormented him, the great length, difficulty, and isolation of the mountain path, had not changed, and yet they no longer gave him concern. Once obstacles to the boy's pleasure, they now became part and parcel of it. Everyone has probably had a similar experience at one time or another. Okay, very good. And this story is towards the end of the book, You Were Born for a Reason. And it is illustrating how our state of mind transforms once we fulfill our life's purpose and experience happiness that holds us fast, never to abandon us. Also called as absolute happiness, or also known as the world of no hindrance, where hindrances or obstacles no longer hinder that individual. And of course, when we talk about this, that purpose of life is we are not born to suffer, we don't live to suffer. Purpose of life is to liberate ourselves from that suffering by understanding why we suffer, by listening to the Dharma. The more we listen to the Dharma, we become aware of why we feel it the way we do, where those blind passions come from. And that understanding and wisdom liberates us little by little from suffering. So people ask us how they can imagine a happiness that is absolute or the path that they hate. You know, many people they tell us how much they suffer in life because of either divorce or financial difficulties, or they were betrayed by friends or associates at work. So they begin to hate or resent the path they are on. They don't feel they cannot find joy anymore. So this is because we don't understand what's going on. And Dharma is the light, has that healing light that illuminates this path. And little by little, it becomes a delight for us. It's very beyond imagination because they're very opposite of each other. It's like saying the night becomes the day. Something so opposite. It it turns. And so this example, the story, I think is a very nice story. We all have similar experiences where we had to go to a destination all by ourselves. It's kind of boring when you have to walk alone with yourself for a long distance, and especially if it's a deserted area like a mountain path, nobody is around you. It feels lonely and a little sad or gloomy, especially if the weather is cloudy. So there are all these hardships and obstacles. Yeah, but if we suddenly have a friend to go with, the state of mind changes because we engage in conversation and a good friend. So we engage in meaningful conversations. A friend, good friend, is someone who listens to us and we listen to them in turn. We don't interrupt each other. We show pleasure being with them. It instantly lifts our mood. I think we all have such an experience. And then we have someone to share the experience with. And yeah, so then all the suffering that how lonely this path has been and how steep the mountain road is, you have to go up. And if it starts raining, we get wet. All these things which bring us suffering normally becomes the source of joy because, like in the story, this little boy is enjoying the time with this little girl and enjoying the conversation. So then you don't want the rain to stop because if it stops, you cannot share the umbrella and be very close to each other. And you want the mountain be more deserted. That's okay. It doesn't bother you anymore because now you're in your own world now, and you want the village to be farther away, the distance to be longer, because once you arrive at your destination, you have to go separate ways. Yeah. So everything that became was the source of difficulty, it becomes part and parcel of our pleasure and joy. So Buddha teaches us this is the purpose of life, why we're born, to transform suffering into delight and meaning. And that's what we are aiming for. So good job everyone for being here. Today we listened to a webinar at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. If you can join us, let me know, and have a wonderful weekend. And I'll try to continue some of these chantings from Japan. So stay tuned. Yeah, have a good weekend.
Okay, have a good weekend.
Oh, thank you, Gary. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay.